Hey everyone, my name is Leilani Guzman, and I'm here to really just rip the band aid off. Little disclaimer, I recorded this about 3 times before, and none of it saved. So now that we are in a new day, fourth time, I decided that I am going to just roll with it. Whatever happens, happens. And continually showing up authentically. As you can see, I'm not probably camera ready, but that was part of what I wanted to do in just showing up as how I really am in this present moment. Um, I did do my skincare. I have my bags because I slept probably like 4 hours, but it's okay. We're still cute. Anyways, I'm really happy that you are watching this, and let's see, where do I want to start? So, first off, I've been having a very clear message over and over and over for months to start sharing more long form content and really just sharing more about me, my journey, my story, because really at the end of the day, I believe that when we share, it should be with the intention of bettering this planet. And I know for certain that someone watching this may be going through a very similar situation right now. And sometimes all you need is to know that you're not the only one going through this, and you are seen, and you are loved, and you are held. So, what I wish to talk about today is really just about answering the call. Answering the call. So, what does that mean to answer the call? If you consider yourself someone who is an empath, highly intuitive, a healer, just very firm in your foundation and connection to Source, to God, or there has been a time, or maybe that time is now, where there's been an innate feeling, beyond a feeling, an innate confirmation that you are meant to fulfill a very specific mission here in your lifetime. And more often than not, it scares the shit out of you. More often than not, you will catch yourself being like, how the F am I going to get all the way over there when I'm all the way over here? More often than not, you will be in what feels like a constant transition state, because really that is preparation. Really that is training, initiation, molding you to be able to hold this divine mission that you are here to do. And this can look like so many different ways. What I feel, or what I know that is so beautiful about the human experience and being an individual in this body, me as Leilani, right? You as yourself, is that there is not a single person that is exactly alike. Even if you were born a twin, you and your twin probably have completely different personalities, or, different ways of dressing, or just ways of seeing certain situations or people or things. And that's the beauty of having this vessel to experience and to express in your unique expression. The thing is, when we come here to this world, more often than not, we are introduced from a very young age what you can do, what you can't do, who you need to listen to, who you need to be, what is acceptable, what is not acceptable. And then as you kind of get a little older, more aware of your surrounding situations, being able to kind of analyze a little bit more, there goes another layer of doubt. And that doubt isn't you. That doubt isn't what you were born with. That doubt was instilled. And it could have been from people closest to you. More often than not, it is people that are closest to you. So when you hear different things, maybe you hear, oh, you're too loud, oh, you're too quiet, oh, that's weird, oh, you can't do this, you should say this, you should do that, you should be that, all these things, right? All the things. Especially hearing it over and over and over, maybe in a different way. You're still, your mind, even your body, is taking in this information. So, another layer to this is that more often than not, and I'm going to say that a lot because I don't fully believe in the this and this. It's more a spectrum, right? So, more often than not, I almost forgot did I forget what I was going to say? I forgot what I was going to say. Okay, that's not important. All right. Clearing that. I told you guys I'm just going with it. I'll just say, if you're experiencing something more often than not, and you prefer the latter, right? You prefer to experience more of what you're not experiencing as much of, then that's an indicator that there is a unalignment or misalignment between your true essence and how you are showing up in the world. And going back to answering the call, this can look like being in a place, relationship, a job, a city, a group, anything in which you attach a level of your identity to, and you feel either resistance or more so of this deep desire to just break free. I think that's key, because there's a difference between something challenging you, something giving you the opportunity to grow, and when you have outgrown whatever it is, but still trying to force yourself to confine to that which you have outgrown. And I have personally experienced this time and time again. So, the reason that I'm saying this is because when you are answering the call, it might not look like the end vision that you have been given. Okay? More often than not, when you answer the call, it will not even be close to the vision that you have been given. Okay? But you gotta start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. So really, I'm talking to you, and I'm talking to myself, because this is what we're doing. So hi guys, my name is Leilani Guzman. I am 23 years old. I'll be 24 in about a week or so. And I live in Austin, Texas. I am a mom. I have a beautiful 10-month-old daughter. I live alone, just her and me. And I have many hobbies. I'm a creative. I'm an artist. I like drinking a lot of teas, learning about herbs. I'm an athlete. I really enjoy being active and experimenting with what health looks like to me in mind, body, and spirit. I love to read, even though I haven't had as much time for that lately. I'm a big bookworm. I read a lot of nonfiction. I'll have a few... Do I have a few fiction? I'm looking at my library right now. Yeah, I would say like 99% of my library is nonfiction. I'm trying to think what my favorite book is. It's really hard to decide that. I think every single book that I have read has truly left a piece of it in me. And it's a beautiful thing when you read something and you, like, it just opens your mind to more possibility, more perspective, more clarity, more confirmation, more insight, more inspiration. I'm looking at my library right now, and the two that stood out to me, and I feel like because those I kind of remembered more, was The Mastery of Love by Don Miguel Ruiz. He's also the author of The Four Agreements, and Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Oh, now that I think about it, I don't have it here anymore. So I think did I give it to someone? My favorite book of all time, and I really need to give a shout out to this book, because this book, like, changed it all for me, and that was A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle, followed by The Power of Now, also by Eckhart Tolle. Um, yeah, I read A New Earth, I think in 2020. I read it in 2020 or 2019. One of those. No, 2020. And yeah, it changed everything for me. I was born in Florida, raised in New York City, Brooklyn, and I moved a few times throughout my childhood, and I also traveled a lot. I was very fortunate to be able to travel, and really just be exposed to different cultures and just different ways of living and being from a young age. And I also was introduced from a very young age to spiritual modalities and the spiritual world because I was able to see from a very young age, and it wasn't something that went away. It's still there. The difference was I had a very supportive upbringing in the ways that, I wasn't called crazy. I wasn't like, oh, like, what are you talking about? Like, there was a common understanding of what I was seeing was there because I was I was fortunate enough to have a mother who shared the same gifts as me. And I believe that we choose our parents while they also choose us, right? So choosing her, I believe, was necessary for me to be able to properly nurture my both intellectual curiosity and also just spiritual curiosity and connection from a very young age. Because if I was in another household, I would have shut that down completely, knowing that that's an innate, deep core aspect of myself. So I got introduced to meditation and yoga probably around the age of like 6, 7. And I also got introduced to Reiki. And for those of you that are not familiar with Reiki, it is a healing modality that you use with your hands. And you're working with energy to pretty much like unblock certain areas in the body, clear certain blockages in the body energetically. And I got my level 1 certification in Reiki when I was 8 years old. I also did my first past life regression around 8 years old. So I don't know if this is like new terminology for you. A past life regression, it's basically a I guess in some ways it can be considered a therapy, but it's also a modality, in my opinion, of getting you into a more subconscious level of your thinking, or just like a more, yeah, like going beyond the conscious mind and being in sort of like a trance state so that you can recall memories from past lifetimes. And this will only apply to you if you believe in reincarnation and past lifetimes. Well, it applies to everyone, but, take what you want from it. This is my experience. And, yeah, so I was introduced to that around 8. So I had very clear memory of my past lives, and an understanding that I've been here before. I've been to this earth school, and I'm just back. But now, as a little Latina girl, in a middle class family, only child who loves art and sports. So that made things very interesting growing up. And yeah, I think I guess it's really not important. I'm just saying it for context, but when I turned 11, around 11, I got certified in transcendental meditation, which is a specific technique of meditation. And that also, I believe, nurtured and really just held a container for, I would say, just the amount of information in my head that I just had, and I needed to also learn how to regulate myself. So it helped me a lot, and I still practice to this day. Since I learned at a young age, in the moment I really didn't appreciate it, and it was kind of like I was on and off, like I really wasn't consistent with it, and I probably stopped like a few years during my teenage years. Like, I did not meditate. I also was very busy, but that really wasn't an excuse. And I started consistently meditating again, probably about like a year and a half ago, twice daily. Maybe once in a blue I'll miss it. It's not the end of the world. But I really try to stay as consistent as possible because I have seen the benefits of it. And yeah, I was just saying that because I've been very curious, and in this learning phase, had my learning hat on for my whole life, pretty much. And I think we're all students. We're all students, right? We're students of life. And at the same time, I've realized that what separates the students from the teachers is that the teachers are able to take what they've learned as a student and share it in a comprehensible way for another to also learn and take in and, integrate, and whatever it is that they need from that information that is shared, right? So I truly believe that my role here is to constantly be in this dance of student and teacher. And I, for a while, got really comfortable in my student, because when you stay in the student, there's this level of having a pass, I would say. Like, you get a pass because it's like, oh, you're a student. Like, you're still learning. It's fine. Like, you can mess up. You know what I mean? Even if you introduce yourself, right? When people say like, oh, I'm a student, like, usually the association and the connotation with that is like, either this person is young, this person, is, what is that word? Like they're just starting, right? So there's this level of like naivety, I would say, while also innocence and just innocence in a way, right? But when you come into the role of teacher, the role of teacher has more responsibility. The role of teacher, I'm not saying all the time, because I do believe that there is an equal exchange from these roles, but more often than not, what the teacher is saying can hold more weight, right? Maybe in terms of clarity, maybe in terms of just direction and decision making and confirmation, I would say. Not in that what a teacher versus a student says is more important or more true. It's just that societally, like the way that we view a teacher in comparison to a student is that the teacher has more experience. The teacher has more time, or just, again, more experience to develop a certain set of skills to be able to get to the level at which they are able to explain to the students, right? And in a normal setting, a teacher can be perceived as someone fairly older than you, right? And for a long time, I was purposely ignoring my call because of what society says something needs to look like. Are you following? But the truth is, a student and a teacher are an energy. It's an archetype. It's also an embodiment, right? So you can be the student and the teacher at any point in your lifetime. My baby girl that is 10 months old is a teacher to me, because she teaches me when to come back to the present moment if for some reason I start going in my trains of thoughts. She teaches me what I needed when I was that age and how I can better serve, now being in the role of mother, how I can serve her while also serving and nurturing that little baby that was once me. So, all this to say, this is like the most freaking cliche thing but I feel like someone out there has heard this quote and I'm just gonna say it. I don't know if it's word per word, but when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So, honestly, I love being able to hold space for other people. And what I realized in that was I put the focus so much on other people that I was uncomfortable holding space for myself. But that's past, right? I am now so comfortable holding space for myself. I am so comfortable holding space for myself. I am so comfortable with who I am. I am so comfortable with every aspect of me. I have seen the shittiest parts of myself, and I've had to deal with her because it was just me and her, right? I've seen my deepest depths of darkness that honestly scared me at one point. And I was like, I'm that? Like, there's no way. Like, I wouldn't want to associate myself with that, right? Or even just certain little habits or things that maybe I've said or done where I'm like cringing or just like, how could I do that? Like, that's terrible, you know? While also recognizing that, in certain situations or in certain moments, there could have been several factors and several what I call like triggers that almost incentivized me to behave in a certain way when I know my true essence, like my deep essence, is unconditional love, right? And at the same time, me as a human, me as Leilani, the human, right? The woman, the mother, the daughter, the sister, the friend. I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect, guys. I'm perfect in God's image. I'm perfect in God's eyes. I'm perfectly imperfect in my eyes, right? But yeah, I think for me growing up, I had this just innate, deep, like core woundings of having to be perfect all the time. Having to be the perfect daughter, having to be the perfect student, having to be, whatever, the perfect friend. And it was exhausting. It was really exhausting. I got fed up with it. I got fed up with it. And if you are someone who is bearing people-pleasing tendencies, you will understand this. And this isn't like, a one and done deal. This is something I'm still working on. I'm just more aware of it and able to choose differently now. Before it was more autopilot and I was allowing these things to happen, but because I wasn't aware of it, I didn't have the choice to act or make a different decision. Okay? So when you are aware of something, you then it's like you then unlock another level. You then unlock another possibility. You then unlock another just perspective so that you have more options. Right? But if this level of awareness never comes to this present now, you may feel that you have this one option, one choice, or that you don't have a choice at all. We always have a choice. In every single moment, every breathing moment, every waking moment, you have a choice. Now, does that mean that you are making the right choice? Does that mean that you are making the choice that is in alignment with your divine purpose, mission, soul? So, I'm speaking to the people who are in a transition state. You know where you're going. You know what you need to do to get to where you're going. Or maybe, just maybe, you don't see the full picture. You see parts of it. You see parts of it, but there's still little gaps that are just blank. Okay? You have done a fair amount of work on yourself to come see this video. You have done a fair amount of work on yourself to deprogram limiting beliefs that you have had about yourself in the past. And you have done a fair amount of work in the act of forgiveness and the art of authenticity. And that's something that I'll definitely be talking more about now that I officially started recording videos. Life's a trip. Anyways, yeah, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you, and I'm not going to confine who can listen to this message, because anyone that is in alignment and that is ready to receive this, I pray that you receive this. And at the same time, being in this human world, being in this current now, I'm feeling very called to focus on someone who is around my age, maybe younger, maybe older, and you've been through the mud. You've been through the mud. You've been through the mud. And at the same time, you still show up with a smile on your face. You still love others. You still have faith in the world, in possibility. And you still know that call, that beep, 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 that dial, right? You know that you answered it. You know that you are answering it. You are answering it right now. So, I just realized phones aren't like this anymore. Right? Swipe. You answered it. You fucking answered it. So, yeah, I'm talking to you, and I'm really so excited. I'm so excited for this new journey, and what is going to transpire from all of this. So, my goal is to post daily for 30 days and see where that goes. Thank you.